Hello, this is wmpyr, here to talk about yesterday's class. Yesterday was amazing, beautiful weather, so we went out to the park and we trained outdoors. And yeah, the first thing I gotta say is those of you that train in Escrima, Kali, Arnis, um, yeah, this is an outdoor art. To get the most out of the training session, it's best to go to like a park, and that's exactly what we did. We went to a park, nice and open. Nobody was there at first. Later on, a few children showed up, but I mean, we're just talking about like maybe four max. So it was really, really nice and fairly quiet, you know. So you go out there and you are able to do full swing with the sticks. That's one of the main differences between training indoors is nice, don't get me wrong. You got your privacy and everything, but to be out there where the air is clean and, you know, to do a full swing motion is so important. One of the things is when you do full swing, you get to work on a little bit more power. You don't have to go 110%, even if you go like 70%. Or 60% or even 50%. That's good training right there. So you could do your number one and number two angle, which is your X. You could do that like 30 times with your right hand. And then I recommend now the same thing, 30 reps with your left hand just to balance things out, because when you are putting in that much force, it does affect your body. So you know, you want to have that balanced out. I think that's a good thing, you know, for physical balance, muscle, and everything. And then now if you go side to side with your right hand and you do 30 reps of that, then you go side to side with your left hand, you know, once again, to keep everything even. And I kind of noticed that as you get better, as the students get better, they tend to their hands just kind of get left out, and that's perfectly normal. What's happening is we humans, we have a tendency to become efficient. So rather than doing a full swing and, you know, bringing your arm from here, point A all the way to point B, it just goes right here. And you're still hitting the same target, but then your arm just kind of goes here and it's left out here. The problem with that is if you do that, you're not parking correctly. And I know people call it a chamber, but for me, I call it parking. I like start position and parking position because sometimes the start position and you strike and then you park is the same. And therefore, you can call it a chamber. But then there's many other times where the starting position and then the parking position is not the same. And then in that case, to call it, what do you do? Chamber one, chamber two. So I like to call it start and park, okay? And I noticed that people, because they're moving more efficiently, they're more comfortable with the technique, it kind of makes them lazier in a way. And then the arm gets left out. And then when they need to do the next move, the arm is not in the correct starting position because they parked incorrectly, and now they have to scramble back and try to keep up. Therefore, it's always good to go back to a full swing, and if you do a full swing, you're gonna go from your starting position to your parking position correctly. There's no doubt, because it's a full swing. So that's good practice to do. You should always go back to it. Don't be like, okay, I've done full swing training, now I don't need to do it anymore. No, you should do it also for physical fitness. But then again, like when you look at a group like the Dog Brothers, I mean, they almost sound like they're saying that's the only way to go, you know, is to do the full swing with power. And, you know, if you don't want to listen to me, well, listen to them, okay? So I do believe that full swing is extremely beneficial. The two main ways to hit in, you know, Escrima is you have your full swing, which is kind of like the slashing type movements, and then you have your striking type movements, which you're actually creating like going straight and then back kind of thing, rather than an arc. So those are the two main types of attacks that we do, and you need to really get both of those down, okay, and know the difference between the two. So you could do the Heaven Six both ways, two different ways. Make sure you practice with the arcs, but then make sure you also practice with the striking. It's just that naturally humans tend to go towards more and more efficient, and we'll start going more towards the striking, and then you kind of forget about the big swinging slashes, the arcing type motion. So make sure you go back to it, okay? So to me, that's actually more advanced, is going back to that. But like I said, you should constantly do that. So anyway, it was so nice to do it out in the park, and you're getting these nice big reps, and you don't have to worry about hitting anything. So we're doing that in the fresh air. And then the partner training. Partner training is we do a lot of it in Filipino martial arts. In fact, that's probably what we do the most is that. Obviously, when you're alone, you can't do that, so you have to do solo training. But when you're in a group or when you have other people around, then it's all about the partner training. Find a partner and work on, whatever, because we have a million different drills. So work on drills with your partner. And like one of the most basic, simplest drills that you could do once you know the Heaven Six is to just do the Heaven Six together. So I'm doing the Heaven Six, they're doing the Heaven Six, you mirror, okay? But when you do that in the park, compared to indoors, now you could really start involving the footwork. And when you involve the footwork, believe me, guys, it's a different feeling. So we're doing the Heaven Six, and now what I said to my student was, I was like, I'm going to start pressing in forwards. So when you start feeling that, you're going to have to move back. And then you're going to see that I disengage. And I start moving back. Now you're going to have to cover that. You're going to have to make up for that. Okay, so that was kind of the practice. Now that's kind of like training and feeling pressure. So there's like subtle cues where you start feeling the pressure, like, oh, they're coming in. And you got to start backing up quickly, and the other person starts coming in with the Heaven Six, and they're almost like charging at you, and you got to, run back. So you're doing this kind of thing. And then we had a hill. So going up the hill and then coming down the hill, up the hill. I mean, it changes your footwork. You start worrying about, am I going to trip and fall? And the momentum you get from the hill, and you understand that when you are up on the high ground, you have an advantage. So we're doing that, and the forward pressure is, at the end of the day, humans run faster than they do moving backwards. Now, I'm sure there are exceptions, but people generally run way faster moving forward. So when a person's coming at you with Heaven Six, and you got to defend that using the Heaven Six moving back, that is pretty intense. And once again, this is not realistic training, but there's elements of reality in there to help you for a real life experience. And we're getting some of those elements without hurting each other. We're not going full contact. We're not risking anything, but we still feel, like the pressure. We feel maybe a little bit of adrenaline. We go, oh man, it's kind of scary. You feel all that stuff when you are training like this. And then the other thing is the footwork practice, which is now, this is more technical, but to be able to do the Heaven Six while you're charging in, applying pressure, or while you're moving back, sliding back as fast as you can, or skipping back, or even running back, whatever it takes, right, to make that distance, because if not, it's going to be in your face like that. And then also circular. We do circular, and you see that when a person goes circular, you're trying to charge in, and they're gone. So now you got to turn, and it kills your forward momentum. So it's really, really awesome footwork practice when you go out in the park and train this way. Now, of course, I see people go out in the park and they're just doing a Heaven Six and no footwork, nothing. You got to make sure you do this. Tell your partner, hey, we'll take turns. I'll go in forward, and then you come in forward. We'll do that back and forth, or we'll do the wide circular movement. We'll try to go from here, and we'll cover like as much as we can, half the park or whatever, you know. Tell each other that you're going to do that, and then you'll get to practice it, okay? Don't just do chaos, and don't just not do it either. I mean, you're missing out on a great opportunity. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.